Hello, everybody, and welcome to iHLS Innotech International Conference. In this segment, we'll speak with Mr. Yigal Unna, Director General of Israel's National Cyber Directorate. Hello.
Hi.
Your background is intelligence and technology, and recently we've been fighting a virus which is not a computer virus for a change. It's a different kind, as we all know too well. How do you see this from a cyber warfare perspective?
Well, in fact, we're fighting both the biological pandemic and the cyber pandemic, and they behave very similar. The resemblance is outreaching, is really outcrying. And we need to understand that a pandemic is a pandemic, and we use the terms of anti-pandemic and the counter-pandemic in cyber warfare before the COVID-19 hit us. Now we have both. And since the beginning of the COVID-19, we see growth, not a growth, explosion, a boost of cyber attacks aiming everyone, everywhere, because of the nature of the human society everywhere in the world in these days. We work remotely, we work separately, we need connectivity more than ever before. And as we put in distance, the social distancing, so the attack surface, as we call it, grows larger, and with that, threats and abuse by the bad guys. So we see enormous amounts of attacks. It's growing like that, and we need to tackle both. And second, there are hits on hospitals and healthcare centers as well. We'll elaborate on that.
Who's behind it? Who wants to, hack hospitals and do this kind of terrible things?
Every time the humankind is doing something good, there's always a dark side of that. And unfortunately, we see also in this kind of technology, the abuse of anything that the good guys invent. So the moment that high school students and university students all around the globe were left out of schools because of closure of everything, many of them went to gaming, some went to do some social activities, but too many, and when I say too many, 2% is millions of youngsters with bright minds and
free time and computers
and access to the internet. They do hacking and they do bad things, and they don't care if it's hospitals or any other humanitarian targets.
Not that governments went to sleep, not that professional hackers went to sleep.
All of the
above.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you do?
Well, Israel, like our like-minded friends, we need to put more forces and put more energy. And since the beginning of this pandemic, we work harder than ever to tighten up, to strengthen our attack surface, to minimize the threats, in not only in the critical infrastructure, which is my responsibility, direct responsibility, but all over the Israeli cyberspace. And it's a great country with a great technology and a great attack surface. So we do awareness campaigns. We do counter-hacking. We do many proactive measures to close vulnerabilities, to find exploits that are not abused yet, and to minimize and close it before the bad guys have the chance to abuse it.
So it's a kind of a brain war. You try to block one part, and they come from the window. You close the door. Is that a constant fight? Or?
Exactly. Take chess and backgammon and all the Go and all the strategic games that you know, and put that on steroids. And you see the current cyber warfare. Now, it comes from everywhere with all the technologies. It's like, getting a boat that is just ready to sail, and put it immediately not on the water to see if it sinks, but underwater. So we see that possible leaks are everywhere, and you need to run faster and stronger and be smarter than everyone else in order to make Israel safer, at least more than the other countries.
In this conference, we talk a lot about the cooperation between government and the private sector, legacy organizations and startups. You do the same?
We work in the Directorate, in the Israeli National Cyber Directorate. We're not just working very closely. with the cyber industry, the great cyber industry that we have, but we in fact have many programs, specifically in these days, to promote and to give chances to all the industry, even the small startups, the new coming startups that we have dozens in these times. They have the chance to practice the new tools, the new innovations, and we have great innovations. And that's the good news. Israel is a little faster, a little better than the others because of the great human capital and the great minds that in this conference we see a very small drop of it, but we have it in dozens. And the government mission here is to make sure to pave the way for the industry and to get the opportunities and the clients and the market more agile, more ready, more flexible to meet with the new coming startups.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that cybersecurity is one of Israel's really leading technologies, and it's known around the world, and we know that, and this is because of the combination of the security and defense situation and the startup mentality.
That's our strength in Israel. We don't have too much natural resources. We have some gas, but basically this is our natural resource. And what is the natural resource here is the daring, is not being afraid of failure. To try, if it doesn't work, let's try again. In cyber, it's critical because this is the nature of cybersecurity. On the one hand, someone tries to find the cracks, the leaks to penetrate, and on the other hand, how to be smarter, be one step ahead, and to close the gaps before. And this Israel, in our tough neighborhood, we are born to it. We are born and bred to meet with this challenge. So cyber, with the technology, with the innovation, without any natural resources needed here, is a great opportunity to Israel to excel, which we do.
Now, with awareness over time of cybersecurity, you see more and more products and software that is like initially inherently more secure. So should we worry less in the future, or it's just going to get worse in the future?
Well, it's a good question. Unfortunately, I don't bear very good news here. I think that we're going to see, I often quote it as winter is coming. So winter is here, and it's getting worse because we are more and more dependent on this technology. So as we grow better in securing these products and all the supply chain, also the challenges and the vulnerabilities grows larger and stronger, and we need to run much faster, even just to stand where we are. If we want to move forward, we need to even run faster. But Israel has, again, a strong head start in this field.
Right. Winter is coming. I took this note. Mr. Yigal Unna, thank you very much.
Thank you, Yaakov.
Yes, cyber security in this Innotech conference, and we'll see you soon in the next segment.